There are so many things that we need to do to scale to that next level. It all starts with a mindset. What the mind can conceive, the mind can achieve. What happens is you get so bogged down with daily life. When was the last time you took a vacation? 3, 4, 5 a week to just sit, listen to books, read books, think, and come up with the next strategy on how you're going to grow, or at least the next concept that you can execute on. Right now, we've got things that we're trying to execute on. Some of these things are going to take weeks, some days, some are going to take months, and I know some are going to take years. What I'm having is daily meetings. Every morning, 9:30, for 45 minutes to an hour. Think through the process. How do we simplify this process? Because what I found in reading 10x books, and that's the new thing now, is 10x, 10x, 10x is the new thing. What I find in very simple terms is that the only way you can 10x is to simplify more. Like, I had a process years ago for doing initial services. We had one step that would take another 15 to 20 minutes. It's a very good step. What I found is that it wasn't necessary for every single job. It was only necessary for about 1% of the jobs that had a problem. I removed it. We went from doing an hour and 15, an hour and a half initial to about an average now, about 45 minutes on every single job that we're doing. It doesn't matter. We get excellent results, just as good as we were before. And when we come across this particular problem, then we implement it. It's part of our SOPs. When was the last time you sat there and you went step by step through every single process? On every step that you take, and ask yourself, is this really necessary, or is this just feeding my ego? Is this something I came up with because I feel it makes me better than everybody, but nobody cares, nobody knows, and if you got rid of it, nobody would miss it? Is it your ego? Is it that you feel you're giving so much value and so much quality by doing this one thing that nobody cares about? Only you. And the only thing it's doing is giving you fluffy in your belly, but it's providing no extra money. It's creating more work than is necessary. It's not letting you, it's cutting into your profit. What are you doing in your business? I get challenged with this all the time. Look, there are things that people challenge me with that I have drawn a line in the sand when it comes to ethics and morals. I will not do it. I've been in sales since I was 16. By the time I was 18, 19, I was already involved in Amway and multi-level marketing. And I've heard everything under the sun, went to the conferences, went to conventions. I used to go to sales conventions. I used to go to sales seminaries. I was listening to Zig Ziglar in my car since I could drive. I listened to about 20 to 30 books a year on sales and marketing. And there's just things I'm not going to do. There are things I need to do, but there are other steps I need to take before I can get there, because I can't just jump that. There are things I need to do that the pain is so great that I don't want to go through it because I already know what pain it is. You see, but next level thinking is taking, okay, what can we do? Where can we scale this? Where can we do it? Trying to get Eric to think as a manager. I challenged him with this question. I said, Eric, you're used to doing creation, media, but you want to be a business owner. I need you to start being a manager. And I challenged him with this question. I said, if this was your business and you needed to eat every single day and tomorrow, what would you be doing to make sure that we made more money? And I'm always thinking and pushing. Some people push harder. Some people push less. There's a certain level that I feel comfortable pushing. There are certain levels I don't feel comfortable pushing. But at the end of the day, we have to improve. We got to get more likes. We got to get more shares. We got to get more visitors. We got to get more traffic, because we're trafficking in eyeballs and ears, hopefully to change hearts and minds. So you got to be able to do those three things. I think the biggest thing holding you back is your circle of influence. Because influence, my mother used to say, tell me who you hang out with and I'll tell you who you are. So you don't want to hang out with these certain types of kids, son. You want to hang out with these types of kids. The problem that you have hanging out with those people is that somehow, if there is in you this envy and covetousness and despise for what those people are, because you think they've achieved what they've achieved by stepping on other people, by doing something illegal, immoral, unethical, then you tend to despise that. The other thing is that you don't feel worthy, or you don't think, or I hear all the time, I don't want to be wealthy. I don't want to be wealthy. I don't want to be wealthy. What's wealthy? What defines wealthy? The fact that you don't want to drive a Bentley and have a boats and Lamborghinis and all that nonsense? What's wealthy? You'll need $1 million in investments in order to retire. You won't be able to retire ever. Wealthy used to be $100,000 a year. It doesn't buy you anything today. This disdain that you have for, well, I don't want to be wealthy. I just want to make enough. And that's the mentality. So unless you aspire for next level, unless you say, I need to get to 150,000, I need to get to 250,000. Why? Because now I can invest. Now I can buy property. Now I can do this. Now I can do that. Now I can help my parents. Now I can help my brother. I joke with my kids all the time. You better make sure you get a career. You better make sure you hustle. You better make sure, because I ain't leaving you anything. Of course, that's anti-biblical, because the Bible says that a good man leaves something for his children and his children's children. But I got to get them to thinking, how do I make it? Because that isn't always going to be here. To become self-reliant, to become thinkers, to be next level thinkers. We're teaching our kids to be next level thinkers. The last thing I want is an ungrateful brat who thinks he deserves something because I made it. I chewed my son out this morning. He takes a bowl of cereal, just fills it all the way to the top and with milk when he doesn't drink the milk. And I scold him for it. I said, you realize I got to work for that milk for you to throw it down the drain. It's the same thing with employees. It's company truck. It's not my chemical. I don't care if I waste it. Those are the people that will not work for me. The moment I hear a tech ever say, it's a company truck, meaning I can mistreat it, I can do whatever I want, it's a company truck, that's the last day he worked for me. I'm getting rid of another tech now that just hired a month ago. Starts out talking a good game, then at the end of the day, he can't back it up. The comments he makes, I listen to him. See, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. People inevitably, give them enough time, they will say what is really in their heart and in their mind. And the things that come out of his mouth now leads me to believe that he's trying to hustle me. And sooner or later he will. Milking the clock. I give him a route that takes 6 hours to do. I know it takes 6 hours to do. I give him 8 to do it. He shows up in 10. So I have a conversation. I said, I can't raise you while you're still calling me on every stop, while you're making these mistakes, which I taught you not to do. I can't raise you, and I can't promote you, and I can't give you more responsibility until you show me you're faithful. See, in the little things you are faithful, in the greater things you will be. I think technicians need to listen to this message. When you have a worker mentality that I'll milk the clock because that's how I'm going to make my money, instead of giving more value and producing more, that says more about you than it says about the company you work for. I don't care what you tell me. I don't care how badly they treat you. That is your problem for working for a lousy company, working for lousy bosses, working for lousy owners. Your level of integrity is based then on how people treat you, not based on what's in you. So he says things all the time now that I'm catching, that I let it slide. But I'm already looking for another employee.